Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Surma.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Emberleaf.
We are! This is a game that was sent to us from the publisher, so thank you so much for that. This was a game, it just arrived on the front door. You usually don't have any, looking forward to a game, you don't have any expectations. I usually do. There's usually something about the game that made me seek it out, but this one just arrived, so I didn't know anything. So I kind of came into it the same way that you usually do, which is an interesting way to go into a game. I enjoy knowing more about games. Was it good? Let's find out in this video that you're watching. If you're watching it, you can subscribe because you have to. You don't have to, but you should because it's free, it's fun, and it takes less time than it took me to say that. So if you just had done it already, if everyone already subscribed, I didn't have to say it.
That's true.
So help us get to 1 million subscribers. That would be amazing. Before we go into anything, I'm going to do a small, short, little overview. In this game, you are going to be moving around on the board from campfire to campfire. You're going to be placing your cards that you have in your hand onto your board. Then you're going to be doing actions. Some cards gives actions when you place them. You will also be moving cards off the board. So you will be sliding cards, and when you slide cards, all the cards slide. This one, for example, says when it slides off the board, you will get to do an action. Then you will continue sliding. Some will do something when they slide, and some will do something. So this one wouldn't do anything now. This one would give me a food, and this one wouldn't do anything. And you continue doing those two actions. What you are doing with those actions is that you're going to be moving around, you're going to be building buildings, you're going to send these small, tiny little cute critters out to live in the buildings that you build. And you will do all of this, of course, to gain
points.
Victory points, because victory is the best. You're going to try to get trophies, and when all the 6 trophies are out of the game, the player with the most points is going to be the winner of Emberleaf.
Let's talk about how the game looks at first, because
Yes.
I really like the look of the game. I think the artwork on the cards are really cute, and I think it's nice that these are double printed.
Yes.
What I think it's a little hard sometimes, because you really want to know what kind of buildings you have on the map. It's kind of hard sometimes to get a proper overview of what you actually do have, even though I think the artwork is great. If these two were a little different colors, that would certainly help.
I think that is the biggest problem. Like, you see the blue, you see the green, you see the black, but then you have 2 shades of yellow for some reason. And when you place these on them, you would be placing them like this. And sometimes they are, like you see here, 2 on 1. You don't see what's under there, and you don't really need to, except you would have liked to see the color. So I feel like these two are the thing that you would have liked to be different. Other than that, I love. There are so many of these cards. Every single one has a unique character on it. So somebody spent so much time, and they have probably had so much fun finding names for this and making them into a unique characters that fits into this whimsical world. I think it's in the same world as Isle of Cats. It's the same publisher. I think it's in the same universe.
Oh yeah, it talks about the same bad guy, the Rollback.
They're not trying to make it into a universe of games, which I enjoyed. Everything doesn't have to be a universe. After Marvel did a universe, I feel like everyone wants to have their own universe. But then back to the game. The thing about this game, which makes it unique, which makes it different, is this.
Yes, the card sliding system, and also the different abilities on the cards in general makes it for a fun and engaging puzzle when you're trying to play the cards in the right order, so you get the resources at the time you want them, because you have limited space for that.
Yes.
And also get to do the building action so that you spend resources and then get them back before you do another build action. So sometimes I could be sliding cards and be like, I don't have space for the resources that I'm getting, or I could have built now, but I don't have any resources. You want to manage that in the best way possible.
The mechanism is called, by the designer, card dancing.
Card dancing?
How do you feel about that? Anger. Deep anger and regret is what you feel about that.
No, I don't feel like...
You don't have strong feelings.
When I don't know how I visualize card dancing, but this feels more like a sliding thing.
Yes, when I heard about, this game is going to have card dancing, which I didn't know what it was, I was thinking it would have been another thing than just sliding the cards on the table. But enough about that,
Yeah.
because it's a really cool mechanism and like it's the core of the game.
Yeah.
It is what makes the game the game.
Yes, and all of the cards are unique, as
Yes.
you said. All
With
the
like nuances.
yes,
Yeah.
But this is not a deck building game.
No.
You will at most in this game gain 4 new cards
you
into
will
your deck.
Probably get 4 new cards into your deck.
Oh yeah.
In some
yes.
very few chances
Sometimes
you might
only
get 3.
but most of the time you will get 4. So the starting hand that you are dealt is what you mostly have the opportunity to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you, because on the interwebs, there has
Yeah.
been like a lot of people being like, I like the game, but I would have loved to be able to get more cards. So people have been making house rules to get more cards
What?
and doing all of these things.
Yeah.
To me, that makes no sense.
No.
Like at all.
Nope.
It's a very weird critique to this game. It would be like in Agricola to say, I would have liked to have 10 workers. Why don't I have 10 workers? I'm going to make a house rule. I just get another worker every time I want one.
Yeah,
That's like the same thing for me. But the thing I think, the reason is because it looks like a deck builder.
Yes.
It looks like you're playing the cards in your deck and then you are getting new cards. And in every game, like when I read the rules, I was done reading the rules, but I was like, but how do I get cards?
Yeah.
And it's kind of hidden in the rulebook, which is one of the things. I love the rulebook for the most case, but that was the thing I was like, how do I get the cards? And then I had to read like the bonuses up here when you place these out there. And that was how you
that's
got
how
the,
you get
the
the
cards.
cards.
So I was like, is that the only way you get cards? But then I play the game and it makes sense because it's not a deck builder. It's not a game I'm going to play 5 cards, I'm going to draw new cards. I'm going to have all my cards available at all times.
Yeah.
They're either going to be here, which when they are available, I can't do like the instant effect, or they're going to be in my hand. So if there was a way to me getting 10 cards, there's no reason.
No.
Like it just adds, then I will only play like a card once and I won't be able to make any cool combos and it wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah,
so
I
this
agree.
game is more about, you have a starting hand and all of them are going to have like a letter on them because they're going to be from, so this is from the A deck, and then you will be able to get 4 more. And all cards are going to be helpful, but sometimes you got to see like this really cool combo and you're trying very hard to go ahead and get that card before other people are getting a card. If I could just get a card whenever I wanted, it wouldn't be that interesting.
No.
So,
I totally agree.
yes, so this isn't that game at all, and so it's just know that before you're going in.
And I think it's cool because with the different decks, you get like a different starting point. You will still have like all possibilities, but I have played times with this game where I'm just like, oh, I can't get turnip with this deck, or I can't get stone, or I can't get wood.
Yep.
And then you have to find alternative ways to get those resources, but sometimes you have like a deck that gives you a lot of the one thing, and then you might have the opportunity to get a card that gives you more of the resource that you're lacking, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes I am presented with the opportunity to get more cards. I'm just like, I'm happy with the cards I have.
So
I don't really need more cards.
that is true. We play the game 2 and 4 players.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those 2 player counts? Let the people know.
Yeah, I felt very different.
Okay. Well, how do you feel? Like anger?
Sadness.
Sadness?
Defeat. I like the 4-player more, but when you play with
Way more for me, yes.
when you play with 2, there's some buildings already, like neutral buildings on the map, and the buildings we'll explain later. They have to do with the scorings, and I think that with 4 players you get more of the fighting for the areas. In a 2-player game, you get more to be like in your own little space and do whatever you want.
And I think like if you're playing with very aggressive players, you might have more like interaction with 2 as well. But it's not a game where I'm just gonna be, oh, you're up there, I'm gonna just instantly move there. You have to have the cards, have the timing, and it's not often that like then I'm just gonna do my own thing. So this happening up here, that probably gonna happen in a 2-player game if you're not playing like a super aggressive style of playing. So as you said, 4-player game for me was like I enjoyed it at 2, but I wouldn't like go out of my way to play it at 2 again.
I agree.
A lot about this game is about these cards, the favor cards, and these reminds me a lot of the lesson cards in Isle of Cats. There's a huge pile of these cards. All of them are different. There's going to be a row of 5 of them laid out. So there is going to be some randomness and some luck. But in all of these games where you can like top deck something that's very good for you, it is good to have mitigations for that. And I feel like this game has that in some ways, and in some ways it doesn't. For example, a thing I enjoy is that I can't just take a card whenever I want to.
Yes.
It has to be like a specific action, specific bonus that gives me a new card. In the beginning, there's going to be some tokens around when you can, if I go here and I have my red token, I can discard that as a free action to take one of the cards in the row. And waiting to do that for a long time is risky.
Yes.
Because when you do it early, you can plan for it.
Yes.
But there's going to be, and I feel like in every game we had, there has been like, oh, that card's available. I have this I can place out now when I build the building. I can get that. That was 8 points and I just got randomly. But I don't think I don't have a feeling where that is making the winner in this game.
I agree, because this is a game that you get a lot of points during the game, and the points you get during the game is kind of half of your points, and then you get the rest of the half from the cards. So yes, one card is might be the thing that makes you win or not, but you have a lot of opportunities in game as well to get a lot of points. And I think, as you might have touched on already, what is nice about these cards is that when somebody takes a card from the row, another one gets discarded, like the thing that has been there the longest. Which really helps the two-player game, especially because then you like prevent the deck being very stale. And also, when you're playing a four-player game, you have to, if there's a card you want, you have to get it now. It's super urgent.
I love that. Like it changed. It both, as I said, it both fixes the two-player thing, which often is a stale one, but also gives me that okay, I really want that. It's not at the end. I don't think anyone else is going to go for it, so I have a little time. But then suddenly it's at the end. I was like, okay, I hope nobody takes another card now, because it doesn't matter which one they take, because that card is going to be gone anyways. Another thing I was wondering when I read the rules, there's 5 buildings in the game, and I read the rules, and I was like, but what is the difference of these buildings?
The price
because
or the cost?
Usually there is like, this building does this building does that. There's none of that here. So the only reason you're building different buildings, except for like the starting buildings that you have on your player board, which has like a different cost, but they give you like an upgrade, so those make sense that are different. But in building the other ones, the only 2 reasons to build them, one is to get points, because when I build a building, I will get a point for every different building in my neighborhood, which is like an adjacent adjacent area of my people, and also the cards. So I might have like a card that says, own 3 windmills in 3 different clearings. Own a house that touches 2 windmills. Own a town hall that touches 2 boathouses. Stuff like that. And that is it. And most of the time, that's enough.
Yeah.
I just think for me, this is another one of those that we're so used to games where the buildings do stuff. That for me, when you played it the first time, did you think about that at all?
No, I didn't.
And that's interesting, because I thought about it when I read the rules. And then I didn't mind it after that, because it would have added just like a clunky little thing to the game.
Yes.
So it's because of this, and I like that it's because of this and not just the points. If it was just the points, it would have been not that interesting. But you get like your own mini puzzles, like have at least 3 town halls, have at least 1 market in exactly 3 clearings. All of these change the buildings that you want to build, and thus the resources that you want to get.
Yes. I'm unsure of, like, because it's a very simple puzzle, or that's the wrong thing to say, but you're doing kind of the same stuff every time you play this game. I like, because you get resources and then you use them for buildings, and sometimes you can fight off these bad guys that's over here and you get some new cards, but most of the cards are build stuff or fight off the bad guys or get resources. That's that's the thing you do. So I'm unsure of like how much replayability or like variability it is. But I think this, for me, I really like the starting decks giving me like a different angle to the same puzzle every time.
I agree. As I said, like, it's not like when I play the A deck and then I play the E deck, like, wow, this is completely different. But it's like nuances.
Yes.
And different way to look at it and different way to go into it and try to form my puzzle strategy around it. But I agree, I don't feel like it's going to be... It's not one where you sit down to play it for the exploration. A bit with the cards, like you get like a cool new combo that's going to feel like a bit different. But I feel like it's going to be fresher with 4 players because you have the interaction to add to the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, because with 2, it's going to be more of like even more of the efficiency puzzle. With 4, it's the efficiency puzzle, but even more like because we haven't even spoken about the trophies, which is like a thing you get when you attack enough of these, you will move on the track. When it goes to the bottom, the player who does that gets a trophy. And the player who finishes the clearing get a trophy. So with more players, that is way more interesting.
Yeah.
You don't need those to win, which I also loved. Another weird thing, this game is taking things and turning it on its head.
Yeah.
Because trophies in games, like, oh, you're going to get those.
You have to get
if you
those.
get those, you're going to win.
Nope.
Like, if some player gets all of them,
Maybe.
it's going to be a lot of points.
Yes.
But it's not like that is the goal of the game. That is more of, oh, okay, that is an opportunity now. Is that destroying for my other plans? If it's not, I can do that and still get my plan going, or else maybe my plan is going to get me more points. So I enjoyed those concepts a lot.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to like this game? This is called Emberleaf.
Yeah, it is.
It has a fox.
Yeah, I think that this is not like it's not the easiest game, and it's not like a hard... How would you place it? Like weightness?
I would say like a medium to medium plus.
Yeah?
Like, I would say medium plus. Because, like, for me, my perfect medium games like Riverboat, Grand Austria Hotel.
Yeah.
Maybe it's...
I would say medium.
Yeah, medium, especially when you play it one time, it's going to be more medium.
And I think that if you like having these tactical decisions that you see opportunities and you try to seize them, especially when you get the interaction with 3 or 4 players, you can really have multiple opportunities present themselves at the same time. For example, the card that you really wanted and a clearing with 1 space left, so you can build there. And I think that if you are not looking for... I wouldn't get this and think it is a deck builder, as you said. You have to know that.
And I would say, like, as I said, there's a tactical, but there's also a lot of strategy. Like, especially, like, the earlier you get these cards, you have to work to them, and they're going to be open. So if you're playing, like, with very interactive people, they're going to know what you want to do. Like, when we play with 4, didn't really happen too much, because we are people who enjoy doing our puzzle. But, like, later in the game, I would be like, okay, oh, you want to have the most of that, and I'm just going to build that then, because that's going to be harder for you to have the most of it then. So it has... I would say it's like in the medium category also of interaction.
Yeah.
So if interaction is important to you, I think you will enjoy it, but not if you need the in-your-face interaction.
Yes.
It's more of a subtle, tactical interaction, and you could, if you play this with like 4 very, very in-your-face people, you could be more like playing it as a aggressive game as well. Are you ready for the final thoughts?
Yes,
Do you want to begin?
I can do that.
Do it.
I really like Emberleaf. I think it's a fun game, and when I play it, I find myself thinking really about what I'm going to do on my next turn when it goes around, and I feel like I'm making meaningful decisions because I'm thinking like I have these 3 cards and I have to play this before this, and then I have to slide, but then I don't get the maximum like value for my money. Maybe if I play it in another way, I can activate it then, and then I will get even more resources that I can spend. Or I really want to play this now, but it's all the way back here. Then it's going to be so long till I get it out and can play it again. So I think, as you said, that card mechanism is my favorite thing about the game, and I think everything on the board complements it in a really nice way. So I'm going to give this a 7. I think it's a good game.
Emberleaf is fun. There's so many things to think about, but not in a brain-melting way. We didn't even touch about like the resource symbols that shows you how much you're going to gather of things when you gather them. That's another reason to play a card in a specific order. For example, if I play this, it gather 1 wood per wood symbol. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get 5 wood. And then if I had a card that says if you gather 5 wood, you get to build, that's like a bonus action. And all of these things are really fun. I love finding the combos. I love looking at the cards being like, oh, that card is going to be super great with the cards I already have. And trying then to be fast enough to be able to build a building, so I can place a critter out of it, so I can get a new card, and maybe that even complements the scoring cards I'm trying to go for. Many positive things here. There's not that much of the randomness. We usually don't like a lot of randomness. The only, I don't feel like the card draw of these is that random, because there's always going to be things that are good for you. So the only thing is like this, but it's less random than in many other games that I have more trouble of, I'm drawing that, oh, that's 4 points.
Yeah.
Instead of here you have 5 cards, it's open for everyone. Not everyone can take it at all times, but that depends on where you are in the game. I enjoy most of the things about this game. As we already spoke about, the variability might not be the highest, but it is a game I wouldn't be sad to play again.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun playing this. I'm very happy that we got to play it. I'm going to land on a 7.5, and that's going to be the end. That's the end of the video.
Yes.
You watched it. You did it. We're very happy that you managed to watch all the way to the end. So because you did that, you get a point. And if you want to give us a point back, you can subscribe, because that's how we get closer to that 1 million subscriber mark. Thank you so much for watching. It means more than you think. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.